When you think about your career as an ICU nurse, as a nurse practitioner, what's the story that sticks with you the most in terms of life or death?
There's so many stories. And when you ask me that, I get flooded with, and which is almost crazy. I mean, I can think of just person after person that impacted how I handle death, right? Because even from the first patient that I ever saw pass away to the last patient I saw pass away, that journey has changed a lot. So the first patient I ever watched die, I came at it from a very professional standpoint because I thought I had to. And then I think I ran into a bathroom and cried my eyes out because how could I not? I just watched somebody die for the first time ever. And as the years went on and I dealt with death more and more and more, I found this balance between being professional and being emotional. And I found it to be more therapeutic for me to share my emotions, whether that was with the family, whether it was with the patient. Oftentimes patients passed away and I was the only one that was present with them when they did so. Sometimes it was with my colleagues and other nurses, but I found there was this beauty in feeling all the feelings and expressing all the feelings and then keeping the professional side as well. One thing that impacted me a lot, and I think that oftentimes people don't think about this, and it might be a little bit of an uncomfortable thing to say, to be honest. The first time that a patient passed away, and mind you, comparable to my story previously, these are often patients that I was communicating with and telling stories and asking them how long they've been married and how many kids they have. And then the next day, they die. If that's not enough, then the next step is you're putting that patient into a body bag, right? And that's like the role of the ICU nurse. And we don't think about that. I can't tell you how many people I have personally put into a body bag. And that is a very, very hard thing to do.
I want to know about that because I see that. Like, I want to know, describe the process. So the patient's on the bed.
Okay, watch me cry more, but no, I won't. I'll count.
The patient's on the bed. The endotracheal tube is in. Like, what happens?
So I have really strong feelings about this. I had an experience, and mind you, I had been an ICU nurse for quite some time. I had a patient that passed away, and the charge nurse came in, and I kid you not, this patient had just taken their last breath. Minutes, less than 5 minutes had gone by. And they were running in there with a body bag to lay it out and get this patient out of the room because we needed the room. And there was just
Was family in the room?
no family in the room. But even that, I mean, it was like we didn't even give the family much time to mourn, which wasn't always the case. Oftentimes we would. We'd let them stay for 30 minutes, usually not more than an hour because we had turnover. We had to, we'd have to ask the family to leave. We were so busy in the hospital that we essentially, patient passed away, we asked the family to exit the room. I think the family was hardly walking out the door and we were like bringing a body bag in. And I lost my shit. Like, sorry to say it, but I lost it because I just couldn't fathom doing anything more disrespectful to a human being than to not take a moment to be present when a person leaves this world.
When you say lost your shit,
I want
to know what you said.
You want to really know?
I want to know what you said and who you said it to.
So I was in a position where I was very well respected. Mm-hmm. So I brought the charge nurse back into the room with my fellow nurses and I was yelling, and that's not, me, that's not me. But when I get to that place, I will go there. I feel I'm so passionate about patient care. And I'm even more passionate about respecting a family and someone who passes. This is a very emotional, you can hear it in my voice. It's a very emotional subject for me. So when I watched this dynamic take place, there was just no way that was going to happen. So I got my team in there and I said, no, we're not going to bag this body right now. I mean, it's morbid to say, but that's how we talk in the ICU. This is real, this is what we say. And I said, who wants to stand here with me and grieve for a moment? We're going to do that. And we're going to have the family come back in and we're going to let that family have their moment. And, the next patient's going to wait. You have to. And everyone understood that, and everybody was on board. And I don't think we ran into that situation again, quite frankly. But to your question, a patient passes away, we let the family grieve for a period of time. And then it's this very sad situation of taking a black bag like you see in the movies and placing it underneath the patient, removing their clothing, removing their jewelry. If you have some respect for the patient, trying to clean them up and make them look presentable, even if it means they're going down to the morgue. And it's the whole thing. You have to tie the tag on their toes and their hands, and you have to write their name, and you have to zip that bag, and you got to close it off. And to do it so much, to have shared conversations with people, it doesn't matter if you don't know them well. If you're a human being and you have those moments with another human being, and then you're zipping up a body bag, I think that people forget that ICU nurses do this, like daily. We do it all the time. And then we go and we see the next patient and we smile and we act like we didn't do that. You're not going to share that with your next patient. You're probably connected with that next patient, and you walk into their room and they're like, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "I'm good. I'm good. Time for your medicine. How are you feeling? How can I take care of you?" And you just keep going. And then you go home and you take care of your spouse and your kids and you live your life. And then you go back and you do it again the next day.